Let's talk waiver wire options and Jazz Chisholm's injury up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Wednesday, August 14th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Chris Towers, and let's start things off with Zebby Matthews' debut, one of the Twins' top pitching prospects, and he pitched well. 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts. Did only have 6 whiffs on 77 pitches, but as advertised, no walks. Threw a ton of strikes in this one. 24% rostered. Chris, are you more likely to add Matthews after this debut?
Yeah, I don't think it was a terribly impressive debut. Only 6 whiffs on 77 pitches, which is my primary concern with this profile. But I don't think we saw anything that should scare you away. My problem is twofold. One, the Twins have just been very careful with their young pitchers this season. They haven't really let them go particularly deep into games. We've seen with like Simeon Wood-Richardson and Louis Varland when they've pitched. It's been a lot of 5-inning starts, even when they're going well. So I don't know how much upside is. I think the strikeout upside is probably pretty limited for Matthews as well. I don't know if the stuff is going to be good at generating whiffs, but there's a lot to like. I think the whip is going to be good. I think he's probably going to be decent at avoiding hard contact because he's going to be pitching in kind of the shadow zone, just outside of the strike zone or just on the zone, which tends to lead to more good quality of contact for the pitcher, but he's not a must add for me. He's 24% rostered. If he got up to 45% rostered, that would feel okay, but not someone who needs to be rostered in every league.
Yeah, I think some deeper formats, maybe some 12-team roto leagues if you're desperate for pitching. I think those are the formats that make sense for Zebby Matthews. One name to look at in deeper leagues, Matthew Boyd. That's right. That Matthew Boyd. He is now with the Guardians, and he pitched well here on Tuesday, 5 1/3 innings, 1 run with 6 strikeouts. He had 12 whiffs on 80 pitches. He pitched very well in 5 starts in the minors this year. He is 33 years old. We haven't really seen him be good since 2021. Only 12% rostered, Chris. What do you think about Matthew Boyd in deeper leagues?
I might be more interested in Boyd than Matthews. I'm not saying that's certain, but it's possible because the one thing we know that Matthew Boyd did when he was never very good, but when he was viable was got a lot of strikeouts. And he was really good on his minor league rehab assignment, solid in this one, 12 whiffs on 80 pitches. That's very good. So I could see a world in which Matthew Boyd runs like a 3.80 ERA the rest of the season and gives you some help in strikeouts. Should win some games with the Guardians. I think there's a little bit to like there. Not a lot, but maybe a little bit.
Let's rank some waiver wire outfielders, and Kerry Carpenter, welcome back. 3 for 5 with a double dong, 3 RBI. He missed nearly 3 months with a lumbar spine stress fracture, and in 51 games this year, 293 batting average, 962 OPS. Kerry Carpenter is 56% rostered. Jake McCarthy is on fire, 3 for 5 with 2 RBI. In the second half, he's batting .391 with 3 homers, 4 steals, a 1084 OPS. And Max Kepler has picked things up in the second half as well. He went 3 for 5 with his 8th home run, added 4 RBI. Chris, how would you rank Carpenter, McCarthy, and Max Kepler?
I think Carpenter is clearly the most interesting of this group. Now, the one thing that stops me from saying he's a must-add in all formats is he was not playing against lefties before his injury, and given the nature of the injury, stress reaction in his back, it seems unlikely they're just going to play him every day. I think he'll get lots of rest, probably against a lot of lefties. So that will keep him from being 100% rostered. He should probably settle in around 75, like Luis Garcia, another guy who doesn't really play against lefties. But man, Carpenter was having a really good season before the injury. He had homered 3 times in his last 7 games before the injury as well. Comes back with 2 homers. He has a 380 expected WOBA compared to a 382 WOBA for the season, so it's not fluky. I think there's potentially must-start upside in a 5 outfielder league here for Kerry Carpenter.
And let's wrap up with some bad news. My guy, Jazz Chisholm, suffered a UCL injury in his left elbow and will most likely need a stay on the IL. The Yankees are still waiting to determine the severity of the injury. Wide range of outcomes here, from Could be a mild UCL sprain. He's back in a couple of weeks, maybe a month, or if he needs surgery, maybe misses the start of 2025. So it's still up in the air right now, but it does sound like Jazz Chisholm will land on the IL with this injury. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.